Good morning, everybody. We're going to continue the week of reviews with our look at another Neil Young Crazy Horse archival release, Early Daze. This was released on June 28th of 2024, and it is a collection of sessions and early takes that stretch back to the recording of Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, and also the first Crazy Horse record. And they even do early versions of some tunes that would appear on After the Gold Rush and Crosby's Deja Vu. Now, some of these recordings, particularly Dance, 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 and the version of Bird, Volume 1 box set, and I'm going to put a link up in the cards to our review of that set, so if anybody missed it, you can see it there. Now, on this record, as a matter of fact, the whole record is very, very good. But my particular favorites are, of course, the version of Dance, 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 but I like having it on a standalone CD because I think it was the same version that I downloaded when Neil offered the archives as a download. I got a download card and was able to download some of my favorites and burn them to CD. But the trouble with that is I always had trouble finding where the CD was. So now I'm glad that Neil put it on a standalone CD, so it'd be easier for me to find and jam to. But anyway, I have several favorites. Dance, 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 I think, and Birds, of course. Now, the version of Birds is a full band version, whereas the version that was eventually released on After the Gold Rush is just Neil at the piano. And actually, the full band version, and I think I may have touched on this on the archives review, like a minute and 58 seconds, whereas the album version from After the Gold Rush is fleshed out more and longer. But another one of my favorites is a version of a song called Look at All the Things, which was, I believe, written by Danny Whitten, and that would appear on the on Crazy Horse's debut album as a band. And I just love that song. That was one of my favorite songs when I used to have a copy of the Crazy Horse record. Unfortunately, I can't find it on CD anymore. But if I ever do, we are going to do a review of that because it is a tremendous record. Another one of my favorites is a song that appeared on CSNY's Deja Vu record, the studio record. There was a version of Helpless that Neil and the Horse had done, and actually I think in the in Shaky, Neil's biography, I think it was alluded to, and I had always wanted to hear it, and I think they said someone had I think Neil said it was lost, or it wasn't recorded, so I'm really glad they were able to find it. And it is a tremendous version, quite a bit stripped down from the Deja Vu version, but it is still a very, 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 very good version. And another song that Neil has recorded numerous times in numerous configurations, Wonderin'. Now, when I and it would appear on Everybody's Rockin' in 83. And when I first saw the track listing for Early Days, I thought Wonderin' would be the same version that I had on my archived highlight CD that I burned, but it's not. And actually, it kind of it reminds me heavily of something that would this version would have gone great on Neil's debut record, his debut solo record, because it has that kind of there's a guitar part or a guitar solo in there that kind of reminds me so much of the sound of Neil's debut record. It kind of has that Buffalo Springfieldy type or mid-60s sound, and I think part of Early Days, part of this record, I think, was the fact that Neil and Crazy Horse were still trying to find their sea legs as a band, and they were still trying to figure each other out. And I know, the version of Salmon Girl, I think, that's on here is the single version, because I remember reading in Shaky that the single version, had a different mix and the hand claps were a little different. And the version of Down by the River that closes Early Days as an early take, I think take one, because it is drastically different. And that's another thing. I was reading some reviews of the record, online, and they were saying that it sounded a lot like demo recordings, and there was, which they kind of are, but they are fleshed out demos, and they were saying that they don't really. Studio chatter so fascinating because you get to hear, you know, how the song is constructed in some cases, and I just find it so fascinating, and you know, so I am so overjoyed that this record finally saw the light of day, because it's on the record, and it is so cool to hear, like I alluded to, like I mentioned in Shade. Finally hear a record that I've read about, and versions of songs that I've only read about, and it is so cool to, you know, finally get a chance to hear what I've only read about. And one more thing I forgot to add, and please disregard the glitch in the video. We are still having technical problems. There's a version of Winterlong on here that is not too dissimilar to the live version from the Crazy Horse Fillmore record. And actually, this is the first Crazy Horse studio version of Winterlong that I've ever heard, because as you know, Winterlong appeared on Decade in '77 in kind of a more like a on the beach country-ish kind of format. And actually, I think this version was also alluded to in Shaky Neil's biography, so it is so cool to be able to finally hear it. And the only thing that that is different from the Crazy Horse live version of Winterlong and the Crazy Horse studio version is that it rocks. The live version rocks a little harder than the studio version, but they are still tremendous. I completely forgot to mention about the version of Come On Baby, Let's Go Downtown" that is on here, because it is the first time that I've been able to hear a studio version of the song other than uh, the version that's on the Crazy Horse debut record, and it is so good, because the version that's on Tonight is, of course, the live version from the Fillmore. And I think uh, another thing is that I think these sessions took place um, around the same time that Neil and the Horse played the Fillmore shows, which resulted in the live record that we have Crazy Horse at the Fillmore, because uh, Jack Nietzsche um, joined the band for a short time, and it kind of um, these recordings kind of sound because Jack plays the electric piano uh, on a lot of these recordings, and I think the the sound is similar to the live Fillmore record, so that's why I think it was recorded. These sessions were recorded around uh, the same time of those shows.